But where's all them newbies? All the newbies with all them questions. I
I
need
don't
some more
know.
though.
They're always a little bit shy about attending these. We announced it 2 days ago, so um,
Well, I'm a newbie, but I don't have any questions right now, so I'm just learning everything.
okay, sounds good. Well, if you have any questions, because the way this is normally formatted is we like to take questions from new users because we already have the walkthrough and the like new user onboarding already recorded and on our YouTube. So this is just a chance for users who've gone through all that to ask any additional questions they might have.
I'm pretty new. Hey, I'm Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey Kevin, I saw you were doing some pretty good trade.
Yeah, I've been having some good luck with Big Short recently.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so some questions I've had while I've been going through it is, Tay, I've noticed that you've been saying you don't really rely on SmartFlow so much because it's going through a revamp. Can you kind of walk me through what that means and timeline on that and whether we should be trusting this at all?
Yeah, well, I mean, I still think that the shadow bars, if you look at only the shadow bars, I do think that there's some value there. And I also think that it's good to kind of see how, hold on, wow. See, there's always this last minute rush. There's all these people I have to admit now. Okay. But yeah, it's good to see. Oh, here's Zeta. Sorry, I'm like I have to manually press admit anytime someone new comes in, so I get distracted. But anyways, um, it like yeah, I don't really rely on SmartFlow too much, but at the same time, there's a shadow bar thing, and secondly, there's kind of the magnitude of the dollars flowing into common, and so
Hold on, hold on, Tate. Shahab, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Go ahead.
okay, so yeah, it's about the magnitude of dollars flowing into common versus the magnitude of dollars flowing into NOF. And so we designed it so that both SmartFlow and NOF are in terms of dollars. So for example on SPY here, when you see that line where it says 81.7 million, that's 81.7 million dollars. And the Andrew, shouldn't you be doing like a
Yeah, you didn't enable my screen sharing. Sorry.
oh, okay. Okay, there you go. Yeah, just load up the SPY chart for today. It's really good. To do the thing that makes the chart bigger, like the arrows up in the upper right. The arrows in the upper right corner.
The arrows in the upper right corner.
Yep. Go to the right and go down a little bit. Go go slightly down to the right. Down to the right. Next, there you go. No, up, left, up,
They
left,
circled it.
left, left,
More left.
up,
Up.
click,
The two arrows.
down,
I don't see any two arrows.
left,
Your mouse is hovering
left,
over it. To the
You're
click.
left,
almost there.
it's
Left is
to
the
the right of the
label.
speaker.
There
Right
you
there.
They're
go.
No,
circled.
no, it's being covered by something. Give me a second.
What?
Oh, it is okay.
It's being covered by this Zoom
Well, why don't you just go there and
modal.
click?
You should be able to drag that Zoom box.
There you go.
This is what happens when
I'm
Sarah
sorry.
is not in charge of the screen sharing.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, so like as you see here on this screen, the smart flow, the y-axis, it goes all the way up to the three-quarter line says $81.7 million. And for NOF, the three-quarter line is $42.4 million. And so you can kind of see like, okay, it's about like like the flow into the common is about double the flow into the options. And so therefore, if I don't see anything super big on smart flow, then I can rely on NOF. You know, I kind of think about it that way. Because like for example, like if the scale was disproportionately in favor of money flowing into common. So if it was like 81.7 million on common, but on NOF, the scale was like in the thousands, like it had a K instead of an M. Then the spikes are gonna like look big because they're gonna scale to fit the pain, but they're really inconsequential relative to the tsunami of dollars being flooding the commons. So that's one way. That's one thing to keep an eye on in smart flow. Is like if you see a NOF spike at any given point in the day, just kind of do a quick check to see if the smart flow at that moment is big enough to sort of negate that or compete with that.
That's super interesting. So we're comparing dollar values of the NOF and the dollar values coming in and out of SmartFlow, I see. And NOF is the contracts, or it's scaled by number of contracts, right? So it's equity times the number of contracts.
Equity times the number of contracts.
Or so it's like the total, it's like how many shares are actually being controlled in terms of dollar value in the NOF, not like how many contracts.
Well, it's how many dollars. And okay, yes, you're right. Shares, it is shares, of course, because in real life, the shares are multiplied by the dollars and not the contracts. Yeah.
Cool, thanks. That's
Yeah,
helpful.
we just try to make it as apples to apples as possible. So you guys can see how much buying and selling is happening in the options and how much buying and selling is happening in the common. Good question. And we have 15 participants now. So if anybody wants to ask more questions, feel free. I think today's spy chart was really beautiful and pretty easy to trade. We had the opening range breakdown at the beginning of the day. We have downtrending NOF the entire day. We have a pretty fat golden sweep right at the temporary bottom, which led to a sharp rally around around 1150-ish. And it's just hover over the golden sweeps.
Yeah, you don't have to draw the lines, Andy. You can just kind of mouse over so people know it. Perfect. Sorry, I have like kind of spotty reception where I am. I usually am the one doing screen control. So thanks to Andy for doing this for me.
Yeah, we also had dark pools above the price action, which is also bearish. So sometimes you just get days like today where everything is aligned and it makes for an easy trade. And at the same time, people who don't have big short don't see any of this going on. So sucks for them.
I have
Hey,
a
Tay.
question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So this is BJJ from the Discord channel, and I'm newer, been here for a couple weeks. Yeah. So the orange bars down below, those are the smart flow tallies, right?
No, those are the manipulation.
Or the manipulation, that's right.
Yeah.
So is there an inverse correlation like before hours versus during hours?
So yeah, Joe came up with this pre-market manipulation strategy,
Mhm.
which uses it kind of like not as an inverse indicator, but as, you know, go in that direction indicator. And yeah, I mean, we have a video up about it, and it's from what people tell me. I mean, I think Political Nightmare, is he here? Well, Political Nightmare, he's coming later, but
Yeah,
he
he'll join later.
he could probably explain a little bit better how to do it. But yeah, from what I can tell, it works. And yet at the same time, intraday, I've always sort of used it as an inverse indicator. And I
Mhm.
think the rationale behind this is that is that like even I guess it speaks to like the degree of success and the quickness of the churn that results from the market maker manipulation or some shit like that. I don't know. It's kind of complicated.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense to me. That's how I've kind of been viewing it, like combined with other indicators. I just wanted to get, some confirmation on how other people are using it or viewing it.
yeah, I mean, like like in terms of like ease of use, then it's a spectrum, right? Like with probably the most difficult thing to use being the price discovery,
Mhm.
which I just put there because I just felt like it has some unknown mysterious value that I have yet to see. And manipulation, on the other hand, yeah, that's a little bit better, but still difficult. And everything else is pretty easy, I would say.
Yeah. Can we switch to the ultra flow screen on SPY real quick?
Sure.
Wait. Oops.
Right below, yeah. So the first thing that occurred to me this morning was all the negative manipulation extended hours. So would you take that as market makers trying to find a price or set a price pre-market? Because I've never seen so many consecutive bars
Yeah,
pre-open.
I don't look at ultra flow manipulation in general.
Okay.
And this whole pre-market thing is just kind of new to me, and it's not something that I've really investigated thoroughly on my own.
Got it.
But I do know that there are plenty of users who like to use ultraflow a lot. So if if you catch them in the Discord or in one of these, then maybe you can ask them.
Yeah, okay. I usually
Zeta,
have
ultraflow?
SmartFlow and UltraFlow open at the same time. So you mainly use SmartFlow for SPY.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have both open if I'm trading something that's going really fast like FOMC. But
Mhm.
other than that, I don't. Oh, and I use sim search on ultraflow.
Yep, that's one of the main reasons I have it open.
Yeah. But I mean, ultraflow, it's just the aggregate of every S&P 500 symbol and just the aggregate of the money flowing in and out of all of those. So one would assume that it would be better than SPY, but in practice, I'm just very comfortable with SPY. Do we have any Zeta, are you like really into ultraflow?
No, not really. I tend to look at it every once in a while.
Okay. Yeah,
But
unfortunately we don't have any ultraflow adherents here today.
Super
But
users.
yeah,
Enthusiasts.
enthusiasts. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. But they do exist. Lot of people just use the software and they just lurk around, they don't say anything, and they just print their profits every day.
I like looking at sim search, so I've had ultraflow on a lot more because I like seeing what sim search has to say.
Yeah, I've been using that pretty heavily in the last week.
Yeah, if I'm trading SPY, I'm definitely gonna have some search open.
Awesome.
Shahab just asked, can somebody mark entries and exits on SPY today using NOF? So maybe go back to the smart
How come
flow.
I don't see that chat, Sarah?
It was a DM to me. Maybe that was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
one thing that might help is I don't know whoever has control, but like pulling, like zooming in a little bit and pulling it past close. So like, oh, sorry, if you go down to the bottom, there's like those bars. And if you go to the right bar and pull it, oh yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
grab the right one.
yeah, you can show the pre-market, Andy, but just take out the open, or the
Oh
close.
yeah,
Take out a
a
bit
little
more
bit
of the
further.
close.
Oh, sorry, the close. Yeah,
Yeah,
pull the
take out a bit
close.
more of the close, Andy. So you're taking out that light green
That
bar.
big green bar. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Ah,
go.
there we go.
So it just makes everything a little bit easier to see. So yeah,
I don't know if this answers that question, but yeah, just like the NOF, like you can see just even the first, like you can tell already, like it's past 10:30 and it's, we're going down, we're below the mid, we're underneath like that I think the middle line is the SMA 20. And then you get those calls down. And that just kind of confirms right there. Yeah. Like, so if you're only going off NOF, so far in the day, you just had some puts, like the pink triangles up, and then that big triangle blue down. And so you could have played that one. I went off of NOF, or I mean, I went off of today when I was trading SPY. I like to look for things that are like different. So I wanted to see if it was going to reverse. And so I was watching for it, and so we had the big move down. So I can't see the time on the bottom, but the big, yeah. So, oh, there we go. So if you go a little bit over, so once, like it looked like it was going to reverse, and I was wondering if it was going to reverse all the way, but then we have that dark pole right there. And so I was waiting to see, I wanted to see what happened when we got to that point, because I was going to re-short, or if I wanted to see if it would reverse all the way back up. And so that's what's kind of nice is I was looking for things like clues. And some of the clues are just these big dark red on smart flow, just the dark red bars like that one. That's like a little clue. Like you can tell like they're getting ready to short. And yeah, like even if like it's hard right now because this shows up like we see it after, but these dark red bars they formed during the candle. And I'm pretty sure this one formed like as soon as it like a little bit halfway through, so maybe 2 minutes into this 5-minute par. So you could even hop in then. You could say, oh yeah, we're definitely going down. Like confirmation, you had the red bar before, like the pink one, and then now you have smart, or so you have the momentum traders, the shadow up. They're trying to buy this dip, but smart money is like, nope, we're going down. So they, you can just stick with smart money and just sell until we got like a little bottom, then have the same thing later. But that's what I did.
Let's zoom into the morning, Andrew. Let's drag that part all the way over to the first golden sweep. So only the first golden sweep is shown. Yeah, okay, cool. So in the morning is, as traders know, that's kind of where the market is kind of figuring out what the direction is going to be. And if you really want an idea of what the opening range is, then you can always wait for the end of price discovery. But did you revert it? Okay. Anyways, so
No, a new bar came in.
oh, okay. Anyways, so I want to draw you guys' attention to what I was telling Kevin earlier about the shadow bars. So we had in the morning some put buying, and then some call buying, and then some put buying. But the call buying, it occurred in simultaneously with a bearish shadow bar. You see the only blue hill, can you highlight the blue hill? The only blue hill pointing up, the only call buying, it's happening simultaneous with that shadow bar. And you can see from the scaling that it's a significant, let's see here. The shadow flow, Momo flow is on that bar is 43.5 million, whereas the NOF on that bar is only 4.2 million. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, you're reading that right.
Net call flow, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that speaks to my point, is that like, sure, there are calls being bought, but they're completely dwarfed by the bearish shadow bar. So that's why in the quick start guide, I make sure that the first step you guys got to do is check it if it's a scaling issue, right? Like check the scale against what's typical for the stock, check it against versus how much money is flowing into the derivatives and other indicators. But yeah, so I really liked the shadow bars pointing up as the morning went on, because that led to those are like kind of warning signals that, hey, this is getting kind of dangerous. And then notice the shadow bars reverse for a while. Andrew, can you highlight? Yeah. So then they start pointing down a bit, and then we get a little bit more consolidation and support before things kind of die down, and then we get some more call selling and some more bearish stuff.
Can I
So
ask a question on that first shadow bar that you were referring to?
yeah.
So you were saying it's a bearish shadow bar because it's pointing up, but I was confused about whether or not it's still bearish if smart money is in the same direction, though at a lower magnitude.
Yeah, it's you've seen the quick start guide, right? Like it
Yeah.
is still bearish, but the more smart money is in the same direction. I mean, like sometimes it's the smart money is going to like overtake and it's just going to be one big lime green bar. And in that case, it's less bearish.
I see. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
An example of a bar where it just gets overtaken, you don't see any shadow bars, and it's like light pink.
Yeah, so what does light pink mean?
Light pink is both. So if you look at on the left in that box, you can see like what makes up that candle, if that makes sense. Like, so light pink is both are going well,
Both smart and Momo are selling.
yeah.
So
And that can be the same for light green as well. Sometimes they can be both. Because sometimes you won't see that shadow. Like
Yeah.
like that one on the left where it's half. And
Can
the
we-
shadow's kind of
yeah,
but
right there.
they're both buying right there. And that
Yeah,
could
so-
just be smart money trying to trap.
Yeah, if you could stay there, Andrew, right there. Yeah, that one. I want to check the numbers on that. So I don't know why that isn't all light green without a shadow, and why the other one is pink and no shadow.
I think it's because so Momo is at 43 million, while what's smart money at? The smart flow
It's
is at
at
16.
Yeah.
So you got to think of like, yeah, like they're they're like a little bit more than half, and that's why it's represented as only half. Oh, there's another candle.
So
And if
isn't that the case with? Oh, were you talking about the pink one or the green one?
I was talking about the green one. Let's
I
go to
was
pink
talking about this
one.
pink one right here,
Pink
where you can
one.
see that the Momo flow is it's minus 8.4 and smart flow is minus 20.5. So you won't see any shadow bars there because the smart flow is
Overtakes it.
significantly overtakes it. Correct.
Okay, got it. And can we go over back to the light green real quick? Sorry. I'm
And-
on my phone. Sorry. I'm scrolling, zooming.
And if you want like a real clear differentiation between the two, you could always check out SF segregated. And sometimes I feel like we just try to cram too much information into the SmartFlow pane, because if you look at SF segregated, the signals are actually much more clear. Like you see, if you just like eyeball the green and the red line for the day, you see the green line just very, progressively going down, like almost in a straight line. Whereas
Yep.
whereas the red line, we have a couple spikes in the morning, which are bearish, and then we have a spike sort of in the middle of the day as well. Andrew, can you highlight the spike in the middle of the day? in the middle of the day. That's, yeah. Yeah, and then we have a spike there, which portends future downside as well. So like, I mean, the thing with these indicators is that they're basically indicators of inventory. So you don't really know how long people are going to hold a particular position. They might hold it for seconds or they might hold it for years. But in aggregate, I mean, there's averages, and in aggregate, when you get Momo buying like that, it's going to be an inverse signal.
When I'm trading though, I tend to look more at NOF than smart flow. Like I like to look at NOF, and then I like to look at opening range breakout or breakdown and the dark pool prints.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then
like a
I'll
simple
look at smart flow, and then I'll look at manipulation. So if you're like a new user, you know, I recommend starting there.
Yeah, like this setup right here is a very simple setup where you have dark pools above, which is resistance, and then you have this very big NOF call volume spike showing downwards, and then you see how the price goes down afterwards. It's a very simple setup trade.
Yeah,
By the
that's
way, everyone, Andrew is not actually shivering and quivering in fear. It's because of his AC unit. It's creating
Table
some.
is literally right underneath the AC.
yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, the trade Andrew just pointed out is really good. You know, for me personally, I prefer to bet on put buying rather than call selling as a bearish NOF signal. So the fact that we have those dark pools above, that really reinforces and adds some credibility to the the downward blue hill.
Interesting. So on the reverse side, do you prefer call buying versus put selling as a bullish
Yes,
signal?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, because the people who sell options, they're generally like a little bit more patient and a little bit more market making, you know? Whereas people who buy options, like theta's working against them. So they need the return right now. They like they need to they need to get somewhere before they run out of theta. And so if you're buying options, then that means you've got to be confident in a certain time frame.
I had one comment on NOF as well. It was a kind of painful lesson for me last week. The bars stick out much more visually, but it seems that the net flow matters more than the unusual events. And so that's just kind of something to watch out for.
You're talking about the accumulation green line?
No, net
Talking
unusual
about the
call premium
bars
versus,
versus the hills.
Gotcha. The
yeah,
bars versus the hills.
because from what I can tell, the hills actually matter more, but they stick out less visually.
Yeah, I don't really look at the bars actually. But we include them because other option flow sites, that's basically all that they have. They don't even do like the entire market like we do. So we figure if everyone else does it, then we might as well stick it in there as an option, but it's not something I use.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to look at the green line and then look at the direction that the hills are pointing. But yeah, any more questions on this SPY chart? Otherwise, I'd love to talk to Zeta about his penny stock competition and how he was able to win that with using BigShort.
Before we get into that, let's get
Mhm.
in. Let's take a look at this divergence in the green and the red line on SF segregated here.
Oh,
It's
sure.
easier to see on SF. So notice how like, well, it's on the, yeah, notice how towards the end of the day, the green line, smart money is continuing to sell, but Momo is trying to buy the dip. And when that starts to happen, Andrew, can you highlight where it starts to happen?
Like
Can
where
you
the
highlight
divergence.
Right
where the red
here?
line starts
Oh,
to go up?
right here.
Yeah. But a little bit past that, like just basically to the right one. There you go. Okay, yeah. So at that point, we have Momo buying, which caused that big green bar, right? But Smart's still selling. And this is actually this is a really nice clear divergence for the day. And it leads to like several candles, like 30, 40 minutes of red. So that's always kind of nice. Sometimes the patterns and the outcomes are more pronounced than that, but yeah, SF segregated makes things clear. Okay, let's turn it to Zeta or to Sarah or whoever.
Yeah, so Zeta, do you think you could tell us a bit about the penny stock competition that you ran? Because I was getting so many questions about how you were able to big short for trading penny stocks, because a lot of them don't have any option flow to go off of. So would love to hear how you did it. And then if you want to take over screen sharing too, I'm sure Andy wouldn't mind a break.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can if you want. Yeah, so I honestly I do better with just shares and in general. I always try to trade options and I just have some bad habits with options. So I've been doing really good of the year. But sometimes when I just make some stupid mistakes, I take a step back. So I had a big win like a few months ago. And then I think it was once like the market started turning really bearish, I started making some really dumb mistakes. And so I took a break. So when was that competition? Like a few weeks ago. And then I saw like, oh, there's a prop firm, they're called Trade the Pool. They kept popping up because there's like a podcast that I listen to sometimes where I forget what it's called, but they always talk about it. So I was like, oh, well, I'll take a look. And so I thought it would be something fun to do. And one of the competitions was called Penny Power, so it had to be stocks under $5. And so I was like, well, I started looking at some charts. And I was like, well, maybe, penny stocks, they don't have any options the majority of the time. And so I
Right.
was just going to use stocks and just kind of go off of smart flow, I guess. Yeah, and it worked out. It was hard though, because the what was it? I think I had like 100,000 in buying power. So it's just like a paper trading account. But
Mhm.
it was through their site, and so you have to do everything through their site, and it was like the trading
Oh, gotcha.
trader brokered, I guess. But
I'm
so
looking
there's
at
just a lot of
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
oh yeah, and so there was just a lot of rules, like some of which I think there was like I forgot what the drawdown was, but you couldn't go past a certain amount of drawdown, and if you do, like your daily limit, your account gets locked for that day, which that really sucked. Like that happened to me the first day. And I was like, oh, I need to make sure I don't, because that's like even if you're in a trade and you'll hit that drawdown, then you're done for the day. So that kind of sucked. So that happened to me the first day, and then from there I was able to just kind of recover, and then make a lot more. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, so that's how I ended up. I ended up 68,000. The funny thing I think I was up to a lot more, but then I hit my drawdown, or like I was going to try to keep a stock, and I didn't realize another rule that they have that I found out is they will close if you're in a position, they'll close it 10 minutes before market
Oh,
close. And
so you
so
can't
I was
lose
trying
money.
I was trying to short like the stock that had popped like at the end of the day, and it worked out. Like it would have worked out if they didn't close me out of the trade. But
Oh,
Bummer.
right.
like when they close you, it's like a market order, and it's always a bad fill. Like it's just like
Oh,
always
that's
the worst
terrible.
time. But
Yeah.
yeah, but that's okay. Yeah, and so then I was able to still win, so it
Yeah,
worked
that's
out.
incredible that I mean you started off with such a handicap because you didn't really know that they were going to lock you out and stuff, and you still managed to crawl your way back into the top spot.
It was crazy. I think like on Wednesday I made like it was like $55,000 or something. I just kept like stocks just kept popping up, and
Wow.
um I used like a screener, just like a stock screener. So I was just trying to find some that were popping and then just shorting them when need be. Just like an example, like a stock I was looking at today was STAF. If you want to type it in, or I can share the screen, I guess. Oh yeah, there you go. So yeah, so one thing I look for is kind of like an imbalance. So I knew that this was gonna either die off or try to kind of reclaim that that high price, I guess. And so it went right past that previous high. It actually halted. So I want to say it halted right. Oh, I think it halted actually in the next candle. Sorry, that small, really small one. Yeah, so I think that's where it halted. That's why that candle's so small. But the nice thing about halts is like it'll halt, but then you'll see like what on smart flow, like you'll see like, oh, it halted, but people like want to sell. So sometimes you'll see it where it'll be dark red down and a shadow up right when it halts. And that's kind of, and that's like a different strategy that you could probably use. But yeah, so I knew that it would kind of sell off as soon as it unhalted, which it did. And so you could have, sold right there. Where I got in though was the next candle. Once I saw, I know that we're selling off. That's just kind of what penny stocks do. But then the next candle, you can see there's a huge shadow. So because it halted and unhalted, retail wants to get back in and they want to push it higher, but they're kind of pushing without that power, except for that it did kind of go up and then down really fast. But then from there it just kind of went down.
Yeah, huge top tail.
Yeah, it was just, and that kind of took me, I almost got out of my position, but it happened kind of so fast. I didn't really have time. I was like, oh. But, another one, what was the one I called out yesterday? I wanted to, because I feel bad. A lot of times I'm busy with work. I'm not able to participate too much on the Discord.
Can we load this up on SF segregated really quick?
I think you called out GDC yesterday, Zeta. Was that it?
Oh yeah, was it? I think it was.
Is this what you
GDC,
want,
yeah.
Tay?
Yeah. So just notice that like there's so much of that morning buying is just the the money that's going to quickly reverse. It's shadow bar buying. So yeah, and these shadow bars looks like we're talking like they're about like $1 million each versus I don't know how big this company is, STAF. Let's look
Oh,
this up.
it's a really low flow. I think like 2 million or something.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. What is it? Let's see.
It's a $2.778 million company.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
The free flow is like 750,000. So like
Okay.
extremely low float.
Okay. And then at the same time, these shadow bars are basically half the market cap of the entire company. So so it really kind of like shows you that something very extreme is gonna go on and something's got to give because yeah, you can't just buy half the market cap of a company like that and then what's there left to buy at that point, you
Yeah,
kind
it's so true. Yeah, and it's funny, like these low floats, that's kind of, for some reason during that week of the competition, there were just so many like under 5 million free float like companies. Like they didn't have that big of a float share size, and so it was just real. So you could tell people were just trying to manipulate the stock. I don't know, they're probably pumping dumps on some Discord, but
yeah.
Awesome.
Um,
I noticed on that like leaderboard picture, one of the or it looked like your top performing ticker was DRMA. Could we pull up that chart, Zeta, and you could let us know that it listed that as your like top winner or something.
oh, the top one. Yeah, let me look.
Yeah.
What was it? DMRA?
DRMA.
Oh,
It looked
DR.
like it was maybe
Oh yeah, it was like
8-2 or 8-3, Andy, for the date.
I don't know if you guys do this, but I always like
What
make
date?
names.
Try opening up and tell me if this looks familiar, Zeta. 8-2.
8-2.
Trying to see when the
I think it was actually was it the let's
So
see,
we
when
have
did I post that picture?
a couple different
we
people.
posted it on. Oh, actually 8-4, Andy. Try opening up 8-4.
So anyways, for those of you who just joined, this is an open format. So if you're new and you have any questions at all about the software, then feel free. That's
8-4
what
is
we're
a
here for.
Sunday.
Oh, it's a Sunday. Yeah, that's why I
I
thought it
think
might.
it was maybe the 6th or the 7th. Because yeah, the competition was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe open up the hourly and we can see if that anything on there looks familiar? Well, apparently this was your biggest winner.
I know, I don't even remember it. The thing about like the penny stocks is you go through them so quickly. Like I remember this one because like I was thinking like, oh, it's like drama. Like that's what the kind of like the I like would make names for it. But okay, so 8-4 is when I posted that. So that week. Yeah, so it must have been oh, I think it was the 24th. Sorry, there we go.
Oh, July 24th?
Yeah, yeah, look at all that activity. And sorry, do you mind going to like the oh wait, never mind, it is. Okay. Yeah,
Wow,
so
look
this
at
one,
that pre-market action. Jeez.
yeah, crazy like pre-market, and then I think this one might have halted as well. Because there's like that gap at the beginning of the day. And this might have been before I
Right
had
here.
like refined. Yeah. So one thing that I kind of look for too is even though like with the penny stocks or even with SPY, like I want to look for like things that are different. Like on the chart, there's a big, there's like that big action with the big range, that big red candle, and you can see, so a little bit after open, there's like, it's kind of like so you have that green candle, it halted up, got that green candle, and then you kind of have that huge range, so it's trying to decide where it's going to go. And I think I actually went off of manipulation for this one like a little bit, and then also just knowing that it was a red candle, but there was a ton of buying from the Momo side of things, and then or maybe I got in at the next as soon as that red appeared. I don't know. That's the hard thing. I'll have to look at. Wonder if I can pull up that
No
account
worries.
or
Yeah, no, I know
something.
it's been a couple weeks and I'm putting you on the spot here. So
No,
we
that's okay.
can
Yeah.
cover it later.
And that's like
yeah.
during the week, I was kind of like trying to figure out my strategy. But yeah, if you pull up yesterday with the GDA, you can kind of see
GDA?
things. Or is it GD? Let's see.
I think it's GDC.
GDC.
Oh, GDC.
Yeah.
There we go. GDC. Okay. So yeah, this one ran today as well, but it was yesterday. So yesterday we kind of had a lot of, it's kind of cool. So you can see like there's kind of these, almost like they're just pumping it up, like these big green candles. After the largest one, but you can see that you kind of keep getting these small kind of red divergent where it looks like smart money wants to sell off. And that's what's hard is sometimes you think it's like you might get in on that red candle, but then the next candle it goes up. So I usually, when it seems like it's taking off, I usually wait a little bit. And once we had that red candle, so we had that red candle, and then the next candle. So like if you look at the largest green candle,
Andy, you
That's
wanna
kind
help?
of like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, right there. So that's like it's just they're just like over exhausted. Like they've bought as much as they can. It's like a small float. The next one, there's a slight sell off, just like the previous one. But then the next candle, we have a green candle, but
Oh,
there's something,
yeah.
yes. So there's a green candle on the chart. Then if you look down at smart flow, there's like that divergence. So you have a shadow up, and so that's where I bought, or that's where I shorted. And so you short from there. And then I usually just take it down to VWAP or, even this middle line, the SMA 20, doesn't really matter, but wherever you like to find resistance points. But, so that's where, and it continued. So I guess you could have shorted it for longer, but, or you can always just short until you see a green candle on smart where they're going to buy. And so that works too. But,
Yeah. Well,
and
that's
so
a great short.
yeah, so that's kind of what I look for. It's hard because you don't want to get caught. Like you could have shorted because there were previous points where there was that divergence, like that one. Let's see. So if you go to right before the big green candle, yeah, and see that right there, like that looks like a really good short, and it was a good like small short.
A short.
Yeah, like a short, like, the maybe like 10, 20 cents. And then maybe you would have got stopped out from that one. And so it's hard to time it. So I try to kind of get confirmation, I guess. And that was that confirmation is having a huge, because if you think about it, like you're trying to match all these large green candles and you're trying to match it with the sell-offs. And before that, we weren't the bottom red candles, those pink candles aren't that big compared to those green ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, thanks so much for covering that, Zeta.
yeah, I'll try to share some more charts, especially from that week. I'll look back and do like
no
the data.
Any other new user questions in the meantime? I know, most of us are not trading penny stocks, but it's nice to know that it's an option using BigShort. But any other questions? Nope. Don't be shy. We have Reese in here. She's a very successful SPY trader. If we have any SPY traders who have any questions. Well, should we just pull up some charts then, or what would people like to see? Well, you can always type in the chat too if you're feeling shy and you don't want to talk.
I have a question for Reese for today. SPY. I don't know if she traded SPY or not, but wanted to know if she saw something in the middle of the day to get in.
Oh, hi. I actually did not trade today.
Okay.
So I can't really say. But yesterday I actually traded and I shared on Discord. Yeah, so I made 2 quick trades yesterday. So I just bought calls. For some reason, I feel more comfortable buying calls at the bottom versus, shorting at the top. So I tend to buy calls frequently. Today was clear downtrend day, so I did not enter.
you.
Yeah, and Reese, when she posts her profits, she's also nice enough to show like a markup of her screen of where her entry points were. So if you guys want to check out the profits post, she posted on there. Thank you, Reese. Well, any other questions? We can keep it going, but if there are no more questions, you can ask either about the chart or about the platform in general. You know, we have Tay here and Andy. They can answer any questions you guys have, or if you guys feel like you know everything you want to know, then we can always call it early.
I have a elementary question.
Sure.
Andrew, your tooltip here looks so much cleaner than it does on any of my screens. Is there reason? What am I doing wrong?
So it depends. First off, are you using the shared tooltip?
Yes, I'm using the whatever Sarah suggested, the default.
Okay, so if you're using the shared tooltip, then I think it just comes down to screen size. I have a very large monitor.
Okay.
And I recommend you trade on large monitors just so that you can work with multiple screens and that of that
Yeah.
nature. But then but yeah, that's pretty much the biggest difference is probably just the size of the screen. We also have the full screen option here. If you want to make your screens larger, to get
I'll also say I trade on a laptop and my screen looks like Andy's. I just zoom
Oh,
out
really?
and I'm able to get the same view that Andy has. Yeah, I just do like command minus. I'm on a MacBook and I do command minus and I zoom out till I'm about at like 60%, and then yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks just like
Oh
this.
yeah, that's a very, very good very, very good advice is to zoom out. You can try that as well. Are
Cool.
are you on a PC or are you on a Mac?
No, so I'm well, I'm on a Mac and I have the big 34-inch screen.
Uh-huh.
But I always keep, because I have multiple windows, so the windows aren't that big. They're just as big as my laptop screen.
I see
So
what you're saying. Yeah,
Do
maybe
you
if you
use
yeah.
the
if you zoom
magnifying
out
glass?
on the screens, maybe that'll help you.
Joe, do you use the magnifying glass button?
No, yeah, I'm only, but that wouldn't help with the tooltip, right? Because I see the tooltip just cluttering my whole view. But this is clean.
Well,
What?
after you click the magnifying glass, the tool
Uh-huh.
still shows up. Andrew, can you
Oh,
show him? See? It's still there.
yeah.
Yeah, and I just shared a screenshot of what the chart looks like for me when I zoom out, and it looks just like Andy's.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe try the
awesome.
Zoom functionality, and if you need
Okay.
some guidance with that, just go ahead and feel free to message us, and we'll guide you through that.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
That was an easy question. Let's see. It looks like Alex asks, can you explain the tallies, Momo, and Smart? Sure. So the tallies are just the aggregate throughout the day. So Momo tally is just the aggregate of Momo throughout the day, and the Smart tally is the aggregate of Smart.
So tally just means like all the bars are just added up together to one number, and that's how we get the line. It's like a moving average almost.
He said, okay, so it's not tied to the 5-minute or hour X. He said, sorry, can't type.
It
Um,
is in a sense tied to the 5 minutes because we tally them up by 5 minute increments. And then plus whatever the live bar is. So it is sort of tied together in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the total up to that point. So if you're on the 5 minute chart, it's the total, smart flow and Momo flow for the day. Any other questions?
Okay,
Yeah.
the Zoom feature helped.
Oh,
I
great.
knew it.
Fantastic.
That did it. Okay, one more question. Another elementary question, easy question. Why do we have blue as on the legend for Momo Flow, and I just see a blue flat line across horizontal line?
That is a
Um,
fantastic question. That is actually a bug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um,
for pointing that out, because yeah, that's not correct.
yeah,
blue are
because
you talking about?
MomoFlow is blue and SmartFlow is orange in the legend. That's actually not the case.
Oh,
MomoFlow should be red and SmartFlow should be green.
Okay,
So
got it.
I'll look into that and I'll fix it. It should be a quick and easy fix. Thanks for pointing that out.
Okay, thank you. I've been searching for that blue, and all I saw was blue line.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that. No, no, no.
Okay.
We'll get that fixed.
Oh, actually, you know what? No, no, no. That's actually okay. So the problem is that the bars are going to be different colors depending on depending on
Oh,
which bar you're on, you know. So if you're on like this bar, let's say, then MomoFlow is going to be a shadow bar. MomoFlow is not going to have any colors. It's going to be a shadow bar.
Uh-huh.
Whereas SmartFlow is going to have either pink or in this case red. So SmartFlow is the
Mm-hmm.
only one that's actually buggy. MomoFlow should be kind of gray-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what I mean? But
Yeah.
MomoFlow is never going to have colors. MomoFlow is always going to be shadow bars. Do you understand?
yeah. So we'll
Okay.
change that dot from blue to like a gray.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and make those changes so that it's easier, and then hopefully making the smart flow dynamically update to the color that it should be won't be too difficult. But
Mhm.
this whole tooltip that I built was for the sake of the default tooltip not disappearing on every update. So it's still kind of in a beta version in a sense. So I can't make any promises on that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. I think if we just change the Momo flow color, that'll make
That'll
it.
make a big difference. Yeah, I think so. I agree.
Yeah. Any other questions? There are no bad questions. Like we love
Okay, thank you.
simple, like, easy to
Oh
clarify.
yeah, yeah.
Those are
Anything,
great. Yeah.
anything. You can ask, what do the icons mean? I mean, we'll gladly explain that.
Like where are the sound alerts? Like we're happy to answer anything for you guys on this call.
Yeah.
Alex asks, can you talk more about manipulation? Do you have any specific questions about manipulation, Alex? Obviously, it's our one of our more complicated indicators. So we always recommend that users not use manipulation and just focus on net option flow and the dark pool prints until they get onboarded more, because it is more nuanced. But you can also look at the quick start guide that Tay made for more information on manipulation.
Yeah,
Oh,
manipulation. Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, Andy.
Oh no, I was just gonna add on, like manipulation is for like those users that really take the time to back test it themselves and find like strategies on their own, like Joe did when he found the pre-market strategy. So that's the reason why we recommend new users focus more on NOF and possibly smart flow.
Oh, Shahab DM'd me again. Hold on, let me go through Alex's questions first, Shahab. Alex said, Joe's pre-market info. There's the opposite of what they mean in pre-M. So I think you're asking, Alex, and let me know if I'm understanding the question correctly. What is the difference between Joe's pre-market M strategy versus Alex said the man bars up, hour down. Sorry, I'm not quite understanding what you mean by that. But let me know if this sounds correct, Alex. You're asking about Joe's pre-market M strategy versus, normal, manipulation during trading hours. Okay. Do you think, Tay, you can answer that?
Didn't I just answer that like 10 minutes ago?
This was answered like in the beginning of the call, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds.
well, I actually gotta go. I'm supposed to go at 3:30, but
Okay, sure. Yeah.
the
What
this
we're
thing is
recording this.
recorded, yeah, and I
Yeah.
answered the exact same questions. So you could repeat my answer to him if you want, but
Yeah, that's okay. So, Alex, what I'll do is, I'm gonna post this recording and then just DM me and I'll share it with you and you can review it. And then Hobbs said, how about trading significant Knopf Hill to Knopf Hill on SPY for entry and reversal signals? So yeah, I like Tay said, he likes to focus more on call buying and put buying rather than call selling or put selling.
I'm gonna go now, okay?
Okay,
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 sure.
bye guys.
bye bye.
Okay. And so it's good to focus on the hills that are pointing up more than the hills that are pointing down. And I'm the host now. And yeah, and I look for historically significant NOF, meaning, like in the opening hours due to sizing issues, sometimes the NOF hill can look really big, but I like to see what the level is and make sure that it's, historically meaningful in the open. Okay, you're welcome, Shahab. Any other questions? Okay, well, it seems like everyone's had their questions answered. So maybe we can call it here if everyone's okay with that. Yep. Okay. I will take silence as confirmation. Thanks so much, everyone, for attending, and we'll get this uploaded and posted hopefully by tomorrow, and I'll share the link in the Discord. And if you guys haven't already, I highly recommend joining the members only Discord channel so you can see people talking about charts and trades in real time. And thank you so much for attending.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.